on an ordinary evening, my husband shared an idea with me that I never thought would lead to something capable of altering our lives forever. Ryan and I had been married for 5 years, and although our relationship was strong and our love for each other deep, we both began to feel that some of the excitement that had once been a part of our connection was missing. We had often talked about testing our limits and trying new things to bring back the spark in our marriage. Initially, I saw it as just talk, a fleeting conversation between two people yearning for change but too hesitant to act on it. One evening, as we sat down for dinner, Ryan raised the topic again. This time, there was a seriousness in his tone, almost as though he had already resolved to follow through. "What if we did something completely new, something that would excite both of us?" he asked, his intense gaze sending a shiver down my spine. I met his eyes, searching for any sign of hesitation, but found none. He was certain. A mixture of curiosity and fear swirled within me. I had always trusted Ryan completely, but the thought of sharing such an intimate aspect of myself with another person felt both exhilarating and terrifying. "What are you suggesting?" I asked, my voice quivering slightly. Brian leaned closer, his voice low and steady. "I think it would be thrilling to share you with someone, a complete stranger, just once, something to push us out of our comfort zones," he explained. His words hung in the air, almost unreal. Part of me wanted to laugh, to dismiss the idea as absurd, but another part, the side of me that longed for adventure, felt intrigued by his suggestion. Over the next few days we spoke about it more. Ryan was patient and gentle, always reassuring me that he would never do anything to hurt me. He promised I would have complete control over the situation and that he would stand by me through every step. The allure of the unknown grew stronger. The possibility of spicing up our lives in a way we had never experienced became increasingly tempting. Eventually, I agreed, though only on the condition that we find someone who respected our boundaries and understood what we wanted. Ryan assured me he knew exactly the kind of person we needed. After some time, Ryan introduced me to Daniel, a man in his mid-30s who was both charming and enigmatic. He seemed to embody the qualities we were looking for, someone who could fulfill our fantasies while respecting the limits we had set. On the night we planned to meet Daniel, tension filled the air. Ryan and I decided on a hotel room, away from the familiarity of our home, believing it would help us explore this new dynamic without any distractions. My thoughts raced. Would this be everything we hoped for, or would it lead to regrets? When Daniel arrived, he was exactly as Ryan had described, tall, confident, and undeniably attractive. His presence was magnetic, and I couldn't help but feel drawn to him the moment we met. There was an immediate spark, a chemistry I hadn't expected. Ryan, true to his word, stayed present, but allowed us the freedom to interact naturally. As the evening progressed, the atmosphere grew charged with anticipation. We shared drinks, and the conversation flowed easily, making the situation feel almost surreal. It was as though we had stepped into a world where our usual roles and expectations didn't apply. Then it happened. Daniel's first touch, a light brush of his hand against mine, was gentle yet electrifying. My heart raced and I felt a wave of emotions I hadn't anticipated. Ryan watched closely, his expression a mix of excitement and curiosity. I could tell he was enjoying the sight of me surrendering to something new. The experience felt liberating, as though I was stepping outside the usual confines of everyday life. But, as the night went on, I began to question myself. Was I truly ready for this? Was I doing this because I wanted to, or was I just trying to please Ryan? I could see uncertainty in his eyes too. This was uncharted territory for both of us, both thrilling and frightening at the same time. The boundaries we had initially set began to blur, and there were moments when I completely lost myself in the intensity of the connection between Daniel and me. It felt like an uncontainable fire. Even so, a sense of guilt occasionally crept in, as though I were betraying something sacred. Ryan's gaze never wavered. He didn't stop me. Instead, he encouraged me to embrace the moment, to let go and experience the thrill of something new. It was clear that he wanted me to be free to explore beyond the constraints of our usual lives, even if it meant stepping into the unknown. When everything was over, I lay in bed, my thoughts and emotions swirling uncontrollably. Ryan was next to me, yet there was a palpable distance between us, an unspoken acknowledgement that something fundamental had shifted. I felt torn, caught between the exhilaration of what had just taken place and the guilt that lingered in its wake. Ryan held me close, as if trying to comfort me, but I could sense that he was grappling with his own internal struggles as well. The next morning, the atmosphere had changed entirely. The excitement of the previous night had faded, replaced by a lingering sense of discomfort. I couldn't help but wonder if we had made a mistake, if we had crossed a line that could never be undone. At the same time, I couldn't deny the rush I had felt, the way the experience had awakened something in me I hadn't felt in years. In the weeks that followed, Ryan and I continued to have long discussions about what had happened. We talked about our emotions, our fears, and our desires. It became clear that the experience had affected us both deeply, though in different ways. Ryan seemed to grow more confident and secure in our relationship, while I found myself caught between feelings of excitement and uncertainty. Together we had crossed a significant boundary, and while it brought us closer in some respects, it also introduced a new tension that was impossible to ignore. I couldn't shake the feeling that our world had fundamentally changed, that our relationship now existed in a space no longer governed by the rules we once followed. I had experienced something transformative, something that revealed a part of myself I hadn't known existed. While I didn't regret what had happened, I couldn't stop wondering what it meant for the future of our marriage. Ultimately, I came to realize that trust had always been the foundation of our relationship. This unexpected experience, while unconventional, had strengthened that trust in ways I hadn't anticipated, yet it also left me questioning what I truly wanted. Was I ready to explore more adventures like this, or was I content with the life we had before? I didn't have an answer yet, but one thing was certain: our journey was far from over, and I felt eager to discover where it might lead us next. To my readers, if you found this story engaging, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel for more thrilling tales of love, suspense, and adventure. I have so many more stories to share, ones that will keep you hooked, eagerly awaiting the next twist. Stay tuned because the best is yet to come.